Hey guys, well I'm just in the bush at my house, not far from the house. It's been really pouring down rain all day yesterday and today. Everything's pretty soggy. I'm not sure if you can hear, but it's still kind of spitting and spattering, mainly because I'm underneath the big trees. But I got a little something in the mail. Purelator brought it by yesterday, I guess, and I just wanted to share. I've been looking for a Twig stove for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. I wanted a nice ultralight one for backpacking, but I really couldn't bring myself to spending, you know, about 150 to 200 bucks Canadian for a titanium one. You know, there's a lot of other cool and important things I'd rather have to upgrade my backpacking kit with rather than a Twig stove. So, but I did buy a Twig stove. It's a fairly inexpensive one on Amazon, so I just thought I would open it up, show you what's going on, and see about getting some tea going, or at least boiling up a bit of water and just playing with it. So I have opened it. I removed a bunch of the blue packaging. There's only blue packaging on the one piece, just so I could show you what it looks like. It's no big deal, and we'll see if we can't get a little fire going here. So here's how it comes in this little nylon case. The brand is Lixada, Lixada. So there's the case. Here's the stove. This is the packaging I was talking about. It just peels off. Anyone who's got a stainless steel appliance, it would have came with this stuff on it. I know at least ours did. It just peels off. I don't really need this. I think this is for when you're using an alcohol stove. So here's the stove. You can see there's still some blue pieces here and there, but they're going to burn off shortly. So you put this one here in the bottom, like that, and it closes up just like that, and this little pin comes down through the hinge and holds it all together. It comes with a little sandpaper, and then here you've got your cross pieces that are going to go on top. So you put them like that. Goes just like that. So one thing to keep in mind when you're dealing with the Twig stove is you know, it's a lot like an open fire. You have to be careful. You don't want to set this thing down and get a roaring fire in the middle of the forest, on the forest floor where there's lots of pine needles and dry moss, or you may end up with a forest fire. Second, you're going to need lots of little sticks. So the little handful you grab, you're going to need about 4 or 5 times that, depending on how much water and stuff you want to boil. 3, you have to babysit it. When you fill it with sticks, they're usually really dry and they're small and they burn really, really fast. The mail person came and I seen a car in my driveway, so I ran over, and by the time I got back, my fire was just about out. Another thing is, this is hot. You know, it's a little metal box that's getting super hot. This is the stainless steel one, so that's something to keep in mind, that you know, you got to be a little bit cautious when you're sticking your hands in there and around it, because everything's hot. Everything is going to burn you if you're not paying attention. Well, we're back in the garage where it's a little bit warmer. Got that Twig stove rocking. Just finishing up some tea, some green tea. I always keep a couple bags inside a Ziploc bag in this cup, as well as ferro rod, little scrubber, my Fancy Feast DIY Fancy Feast stove. What else? And an ounce of alcohol, or 2 ounces of alcohol. I forget how much is in that little jar, little squirt bottle. But yeah, I really like that stove. It was really quick to get a fire going. Like I said, it's been pissing down rain for the last 2.5, 3 days now, and then we had some snow before that, so everything's soaking wet. It was nice to be able just to jam a whole bunch of birch bark in the bottom, and then a bunch of spruce and balsam sticks on top. Didn't have to process them, didn't have to do nothing, just the small sticks, jam them in from the opening on the side, as well as sticking them in the top. I think sticking them in the top's the best, because as they burn they slowly lower down. But worked really well. The nice thing is you don't have to process a lot of wood. The heat from the birch bark is enough to dry the small sticks, and then from there you can build up enough heat to start burning stuff. You need a lot of sticks, so don't think that, you know, a handful of sticks like that is going to cover you. You're probably going to need, you know, twice to 3-4 times that much, depending on how much water you want to boil. It is much quicker to boil this thing full of water. Well, I boiled 500 mil. I didn't record the time or anything like that, but it's a lot quicker to do that than it is to get a nice fire going and to stick this cup on the side. Because you're building such a small fire, you can control your heat a little better, and it chimneys up the sides, and it takes no time at all to boil, you know, fairly cool water. It's about 6 or 7 degrees outside Celsius, so that's what this water is. And we had it boiling in, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes by the time we got all the fire going. So pretty impressive. You can stick larger sticks in. You can remove that grating if you have a big enough pot to stick on top. Probably wouldn't want to do it with this. I think this is the 900 mil Snow Peak titanium. But a pot, like a cooking pot or a cooking frying pan, could sit on there nicely. You wouldn't need the cross, which would allow you to stick sticks in a little easier. I should mention that it weighs about a pound. It's 460 grams or so, so let's call it a pound, half a kilogram. Not really great for ultralight, but just for general camping and carrying in your bag, I think I'm probably going to start carrying it a little more often. The alcohol stove is nice and fast, but I don't know, it's just I got to carry the alcohol and yada yada yada, and generally wherever I am there's enough grass and sticks and twigs and pine cones to get a fire going pretty quick and have a ton of fuel for it. So I think that's a real big plus to this system. I think I'll use it a little more and do some bush tea with it a little lot more often. But I like, because you have a fire, you can really warm your hands up beside it, or your feet. It's a little more controlled than an open fire, as well as it's a lot smaller, more compact. You're able to control it better and utilize that little bit of fuel better than having a big roaring fire. And you know, you put your pot here, but your fire is the size of a garbage can, but you're just putting your pot on the side, whereas this, you're putting your pot right on top of it and your flame's sitting right there. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds as far as like a fuel stove goes, like a propane or a alcohol stove, and a fire. So just thought I'd share this little stove. It's the first time using it for me. I've seen a lot of people, bushcrafters and stuff, using Twig stoves. I looked at all different types and styles. I really liked the round ones, but I wanted to be sure that it would have fit in my cup, and it didn't really look like any of them would. The Kelly kettle was one that I really considered, but for some reason I didn't really feel like spending that kind of money. And this one here was, I think, $27.99 on Amazon. No doubt it's not going to last me forever, but you know, if you can get a few years, 5 years out of it, I would say at 27 bucks, that's pretty good. So I'll leave the link down below. Check it out. Excuse me. There are some cheaper ones on there. This was kind of the middle of the cheap options, I guess. And so far I'm really liking it. I like the case that it comes in. It's velcroed on the top. It stores in there really nice. Like I said, you get a bit of sandpaper to clean it up if you're really concerned. I'll probably get a buddy to make me one out of leather or something like that, just to be a little more traditional looking. But for the price, I give it 2 thumbs up. And you're probably going to see it in more videos. So cheers guys, and get outside.